Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Everyone was safe and sound. This episode, I'm not gonna lie, in some ways, it was kind of a chore to get through. Because I felt like nothing really happened in this episode. And just on a side note, what happened to Ben? Like, did he leave? There's been like literally 4 to 7 episodes, and I don't think he was in one of them recently. So what's going on with his character? I have some theories, some rumors that I want to sit there and talk about towards the end of it, if I remember it. Well, Rafe is back, and he's sitting there talking to Roman. And this is just catch up of everything that he was going through while he was down there in Mexico. Which was a lot. Not gonna lie, it was a lot. But the point is, and granted, I don't really know the whole story because I kind of stopped watching it. I know that him and Gabby went down to Mexico because of their mother, which wound up turning out to be a lie. I think it had something to do with the dad being involved with some really bad people. And then, like, it was really dangerous to go back to Salem at the time. Like, he didn't want to endanger a lot of his family and friends. So he figured while he was down there, he'd just take care of it. And from the sounds of it, it seemed like he, took care of it for now. At least the people that he took care of were in jail. And so he's like, right now, everything is good. I'm not gonna lie. Here's the thing that I don't really know about Rafe. Rafe comes across as, well, a Boy Scout. But from what I understand, he's got quite some dirt under his nails. He's covered up a crime for Hope. I don't know what he was doing when he was down there in Mexico. I honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. I want to see what he was doing down there in Mexico. I want to see that story because for somebody who comes across as a Boy Scout, he seems like he has kind of a dark side, and I really want to kind of know more about that side, He seemed like he can be kind of a badass a little bit, but I don't, what I'm saying? Like, they haven't really shown anything as far as that I've been watching. So, I kind of want to see more about his character and see, more about his character. Anyway, he's just catching up with Roman, and he feels bad about what was her name? Ciara and her death, and now he doesn't know if she's alive. At first it went from, she's dead, but then she was alive, and he's just blaming himself, He's like, I wish I would have been there for Ciara, and I wish I would have been there for Hope, and just a lot of that woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. I'm not gonna lie, there was a certain part that, well, Roman kind of annoyed me a little bit, In the beginning, he was like, well, Hope, isn't home or whatever. He was very, like, elusive about Hope's whereabouts. Then towards the end, he's like, oh, by the way, she's not in Salem. And we don't know if she's ever gonna come back. Dude, why didn't you just say that in the beginning when he asked about where Hope is at? Instead of you just having a 20-minute conversation, and then towards the end, he was like, oh yeah, by the way, we don't know if Hope is at, and we don't know if she's coming back or not. Like, what? Listen, if one of my friends would have started off a conversation like that, and then towards the end of me about to get ready to leave, they say, oh, by the way, they haven't really been there in a while, and we don't know if they're ever going to come back, I would have been so annoyed with my friend. I almost kind of would have been angry. And that's pretty much about Ray. I don't really think I missed much. Well, JJ's gone. So, it was so great having him back for absolutely no reason. I mean, seriously, I'm sitting there thinking, what did he do? He came back, he was there for Jennifer, he was a rock for Jennifer. It was good for Abby to see her brother again. He flirted with Gwen for some unknown reason, and now he's gone. Awesome. So glad that he was there. I'm just like, if they would have got him involved in something, then it would have been great. But him just coming back for the sake of coming back was like, was he really needed? Um, Abby and Jack finally patched things out. You know, because Abby pretty much owned up to what she did. Here's the thing. I get that she was upset. Nothing wrong being upset. Nothing wrong sitting there sticking up for your mother. But the way that she handled it was, well, shitting. Okay? That's just, really, that's the only way I could sit there and describe it. But she owned up to it, and after a while, you know, Jack forgave her, and then Jack kicked himself because he felt bad for lashing out at his daughter because, you know, listen, she handled it poorly, okay? But this was more on him about how he handled it rather than how she handled it, you know? Like, he's the one that cheated, he's the one that lied, you know. Yeah, it sucked what she did, but, you know, it really kind of all comes back to him. So, he felt bad, he apologized, and now they're good. So, yeah. Everyone's favorite, Gabby is back. Gabby and Chad was hissing at each other like two cats. You know, I'm not gonna lie, every time I see Chad, sometimes I'm just like, I am starting to have so little use for this character. Now, as we all know, Gabby isn't exactly my favorite character. But honestly, to tell you the truth, after looking at Allie and Sammy, she is starting to look a lot more better, which is really sad. But, listen, I may not always have use for Gabby. But I'm not really a fan of the way that Chad comes at Gabby. Listen, it's all good to sit there and be protective of your wife. I get it. You know, you want to sit there and whatever. I get that part. But, like, there was a certain part where, you know, Gabby was sitting there talking trash, like usual, whatever, fine. Chad starts walking up to her like he's about to do something. I'm like, really, bro? Like he has that look, that attitude when he's walking, that motion like he's about to put hands in her. I'm like, bro, seriously, you need to calm down. Okay, Abby is not the fragile little flower that you sit there and try to make her out to be. And this is kind of the problem. This is the reason why I sometimes find Abby to be a lot weaker than she probably really is. Because everyone constantly sits there and babies her. You know, you have her family that babies her. You have Chad that babies her. You have Chad to sit there and always make an excuse for her. I'm like, bro, let her at least try to fight her own battles before you start stepping in, trying to be all so-called big man. Like, calm that down, bro. Like, you look like you ready to put hands on her. Like, really? I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. I know that he wasn't going to do it or whatever, but he had that look, that stance like he wanted to. And I'm like, calm down. Like, calm down, bro. So anyway, they hiss at each other for another, 5-7 minutes, and then Gwen comes in, and then they start going back and forth. And then, you know, listen, I don't know what happened, because I wasn't privy to that. Like, I didn't know, but, you know, Gabby and Jake's relationship or whatever, but, you know, Gwen was like, listen, you toyed around him, you used him for whatever purpose, and then, you know, Gabby was like, it was a lie, and, you know, I need to sit there and find him to make things right or whatever. And, you know, Gwen was like, listen, he's not the type of person that stays in bed single or in bed alone for long. So, I don't know. Look at his garage. Find that out. You know, go find him. He's in his garage somewhere. So, when she walks towards his garage, she sees, you know, Jake and Kate together, and, you know, you literally look like she has those look of fire in her eyes. And I just can't help but sit there and think, you know, listen, I don't know all the details, but from what people are saying, you kind of toyed around with him, and then you kind of just used him and then just left. So, like, why are you sitting there getting that upset? You know, if somebody uses someone for their own purposes, and then walks off and then comes back. It's like, you don't get to sit there and start claiming rights to someone after you do that. But then again, I don't know the full story, so I could be wrong, and if I am, please tell me in the comment section. And with that being said, the final scene I have to sit there and think is Jake and Kate. Listen, Kate's whole idea of Jake is that, listen, we're just fun buddies. It's not the word that I want to use, but it's the word that I'm going to use. We're just fun buddies, We're not, we don't talk or anything like that. And, Jake gets her to open up and, admires her for the woman that he sees her as. And, she is, well, she's swooned by him, and, they play more mattress tag. And that's pretty much about it. That's not it. That's not the last act. The last act is Jennifer. Jennifer and Julie. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw Julie, I didn't have that look on my face that I normally do with her and, Lucy. I'm just like, damn it! I didn't have that look. Here's the thing. Julie was sitting there talking to Jennifer, and she was like, if you want to apologize for putting her on the spot, but then she was like, yo, listen, people make mistakes. It happens. It's life. No one's perfect. Like, can you really just not forgive him? And Jennifer pretty much is like, no. Because here's the thing. It's not so much as the affair. I mean, the affair is bad, and I feel like that's fueling it. But what she says is the lie. The lie is what really bothers her. The lie that he's lied to her for a year. I can't blame her for how she feels. But it's one of those things. You know what? Here's how I look at it. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't really have a dog in this fight. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I need to see them back together because, reasons. I do believe that if they want to get back together, they are, and if they don't, then maybe they're better off apart. Listen, there's no point in that they're trying to get back together if they're only going to do it in half measures. If she's only going to sit there and try, but still have resentment towards them, then it's not going to work. It's just not, She needs to actually be fully committed to wanting to try to rebuild the relationship, or just not doing it at all. And if she feels she can't, then I feel like, that's best for her. Now, I know a lot of people can sit there and look at it and be like, listen, it was a year ago. People aren't perfect. He only did that, because he needed comfort. But I'm not going to lie, and when Julie was saying he only did it to protect you, I was like, no. We're not doing that. Listen, I may actually have a soft spot for Jack, but the whole trying to do something to protect someone else is just among the most irritating things you can sit there and hear. When you've been hurt by someone and they sit there and say they're doing it for your protection, it's like throwing a rock at you, It doesn't hurt as much, depending on how they throw it, but it's still kind of annoying and you don't want it. So I understand the whole, don't try to use the protecting you as some sort of BS excuse, because it's just irritating. But I think she needs to actually sit there and have one last talk with Jack and be like, yo, listen, this is just not going to work. I can't forgive you, and I don't know if I ever will, but, that's just how it is. And just make a clean break for it, Maybe they could be co-parents. I don't know. But it would be pretty interesting to see how this whole thing goes forward. I'm just trying to look at it from both sides. I've never really been a person that's been shipping people. So to be honest, I don't really care if they get back together. But I do believe that people make mistakes. And if you're just going to be like... I kind of look at it two ways. I'm like, y'all have had a beautiful, loving life together. And even though y'all actually had some bumps in the roads, to throw it out over that is kind of a waste. It is, it's a waste. But I also look at it like, yo, listen, Jennifer, if that's how you feel, tell him and You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect her decision either way. That's the way I sit there and look at it. And I think that's actually about it. Again, this episode was kind of a chore to get through. Yeah, it was kind of a chore to get through. I don't know. It was just kind of a chore to get through. It wasn't really much that was going on. Even when Gabby was there, she didn't really seem like she did much of anything. And you know what I'm saying? Like, even though, I'm not gonna lie, she does irritate me, or at least she's irritated me in the scenes before, I do want to sit there and kind of see what everyone sees in her. And I will always sit there and try to be fair and balanced as far as my reviews goes towards her, as far as everyone else. And I want to see what she does and when she gets back. I find this whole thing a little weird. Not her leaving. I don't know what the real reasons for her just taking that much of an absence, you know. Like, she took an absence, Rafe took an absence, Sonny and Will took an absence. Like, what is that about? You know, I don't know if Sammy is a full-time cast member or not. She can kind of come and go when she wants, sort of like Jax on General Hospital. But what is the deal with them leaving for that long of a time? I don't know the story behind it, and I may sit there and try to look through it throughout the week, you know, throughout the weekend. But, it should be pretty interesting, because everyone seems like they're really psyched for Gabby coming back. And I'm not gonna lie, after being so irritated by Allie and all that nonsense, that I am actually looking, like, Gabby seems like she's kind of a breath of air right now. Don't know how long that's gonna last, but I'll take what I can get at this point and just kind of hope for the best. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I know I was kind of ranting more than doing a review, but I kind of look at it as just giving my opinion and thoughts on things. And with that being said, yes, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Sorry this came out so late, but this was kind of a chore to get through. Yeah, this was kind of a chore to get through. And plus I had some other stuff that was going on throughout the day. So with that being said, let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see everyone in the next review.